This lion underestimated hyenas. She's obviously beaten them more than once before. But this time the lioness came too close to the den with cubs. That's why the whole pack came down on her. Hyenas surrounded the lioness and let her know that she had made a mistake in choosing enemies. We will show you other cases when animals make a similar mistake and pay for it. The bear is a powerful predator, and a couple of these animals are a small army that cannot be stopped. That's why they themselves thought when they broke into the territory of this house, the animals were wrong. A small projectile charged with pure rage burst out to meet them. The French Bulldog is 10 times lighter and smaller than bears, but its pressure causes a real shock to wild animals. Although the bear easily stopped the Bulldog with its paws, the dog was not afraid and continued the attack. It was able to get a good grip on the bears, and they decided that it was better to get out quickly rather than to fight with this little berserk. Most of all, the maneuverability of the short-legged dog is surprising, which not only ran between the paws of the bears, but also did not forget to apply short, painful bites. It's great to have such a defender. Why do you think the predators retreated? Perhaps they decided that the Bulldog is rabid? Or were they really scared by the reaction of the dog, which turned out to be much more violent than the wild predators expected? Share your opinion in the comments. Elephants usually behave with restraint and nobility. They roam the savanna in search of food and avoid unnecessary violence. The rhinoceros is another matter. They are extremely easy to provoke into a fight, especially if we are talking about a female with a cub. Then the rhinoceros turns into a frenzied tangle of irritability, which is ready to rush at any animal for no reason at all. But attacking this elephant turned out to be a huge mistake. From a calm, phlegmatic man, this giant has turned into a fierce fighter who will easily sweep away anyone. The rhinoceros weighs about 4 tons, but the elephant is so strong that it easily throws off its opponent, knocks them to the ground, makes them trample on their own cub, and then almost drowns them. When they start telling you in self-defense courses that size is not the main thing, then show them this video. Pure power matters. Just ask the elephant. The Impala has no chance against a lioness. If she even hooks the gazelle with her claws, it will immediately fill it up. But the ungulate does not even give the predator a chance to do this. The gazelle takes off, and it seems that she will not have time to escape from the predator that has gained acceleration. But the Impala makes its most famous maneuver with lightning speed. It changes the direction of running at full speed and dodges the enemy. The gazelle's astute accuracy is worthy of a like, don't you think? Macaques are used to the fact that running up a tree is a universal way to avoid any problem. Is the hyena attacking? It doesn't matter. A couple of jumps, and the spotted predator won't do anything to the primate in the crown. Can tigers climb trees? The macaque could only laugh. Heavyweights like lions or tigers do not have access to thin branches. I even feel sorry for the striped cat, which fell to the ground and was left without its lunch. But neglecting the leopard turned out to be a big mistake. The last mistake in the life of this primate, who decided that running to the very top of the tree would save him. The leopard was so agile that he was able to run into the thinnest branches. And when the monkey tried to dodge his throw and jump to another branch, the cat did an acrobatic trick right in the air and grabbed its prey. At the same time, the predator turned out to be so strong that when he fell from the height of the 3rd floor to the ground, it not only did not hurt him in any way, but he did not even let the prey out of his mouth. Even birds can't feel safe in nests at the top of trees. Birds build dens where the branches are too thin even for some snakes. But that will not stop the leopard. The cat is so agile that it seems as if she controls her weight, well, her gravity. The leopard should not be underestimated. An important life lesson for any bully. If you want to run over someone, even if the victim seems defenseless, think about it. Who were her friends? Maybe this chicken itself is not capable of giving the falcon a decent rebuff, but she's doing great with the ability to make friends. When the bird of prey attacks its victim, literally the whole farm rushes to help the chicken. Another chicken, without fear, rushed to attack the falcon, and then they were joined by a goat, a real heavyweight relative to a fairly small bird of prey. Altogether, they practically trampled the impudent falcon, who made a mistake with the choice of prey as never before. Such cohesion deserves respect, doesn't it? This is probably the most epic confrontation between two equal rivals that we have seen in recent times. The tiger decided to attack the bear. This idea will seem doubtful to you, but the tiger can't afford it. The world's largest panther has a pretty good chance of success. First of all, it is the experience of confrontation with those who are in the same weight category with him. Tigers bring down giant bulls and fight fiercely amongst themselves, so the desire to have lunch with a bear is not so strange. It's just that the tiger underestimated the will to live and stubbornness of a club-footed predator. The bear not only fought back, but began to fight back so fiercely that with every second of the duel, the tiger's chances only became less. At the same time, it must be recognized that the tiger correctly assessed its capabilities. He really had all the trump cards. Both of these animals are heavyweights, but the striped cat is still bigger. Both have effective combat tactics and fight mainly with their paws. And they use their fangs when they can pull the vulnerable part of the victim closer with their claws, for example, the muzzle. But the tiger is still cooler in this case. Both rivals have monstrous strength, but the tiger is stronger. However, for all its advantages, it struggles for lunch. And the bear is for life. Therefore, contrary to all calculations, it is the bear that comes out the winner. Yes, the tiger is alive and relatively intact, but the bear was able to defend himself and, as a result of a long and intense fight, forced the aggressor to retreat. If the lizard is in danger, it can throw back its tail and hide. But the raccoon is aware of this technique. He does not pay attention to the twitching tail of the reptile and grabs it. The lizard clearly underestimated the raccoon's ability to learn. The power of this charismatic animal with a cute mask on his eyes should not be underestimated either. This mistake was made by a wildcat. He thought that a well-fed baby with a fluffy tail would become a simple and satisfying prey. And it is not like that. The raccoon got angry and went into a brazen frontal attack himself. The cat has a hard time. He constantly wags, tries to get away from capture, and retreats. The raccoon is absolutely not afraid of the cat's counterattacks and continues to stubbornly go into battle, even if he is threatened with dangerous blows with claws. But the predator does not want to get into the jaws of a raccoon at all. But the most amazing thing is that when the wildcat has already turned to flight, the raccoon himself began to chase her. It's like saying, "Hey you, come here and do it again." "Lads, where are you going?" The case when the big guy ran into a not-so-big, but rapid fighter. The squirrel is a cute vegetarian rodent. A fluffy tail, red fur, a small muzzle with beautiful eyes, and the ability to take nuts with their front paws make them one of the most charming inhabitants of both city parks and wild forests. Well, squirrels have another advantage. If modern fashion psychologists are right about accepting the dark side, whatever that means, then squirrels are a model of success in this manner. After all, the charming, sweet, and kind squirrel has another side. This is a crazy berserk warrior who attacks everything he doesn't like. You surprised? It's true. A squirrel may be the first to attack a poisonous snake. And this despite the fact that the reptile did not even try to bite the rodent. It's just that the squirrel doesn't like such company. But the snake is several times longer, and a single bite will be enough to stop the rodent's heart. Do you think this causes our furry hero any doubts? No, of course not. She simply tramples the snake into the ground with her furious pressure and speed. If a squirrel can cope with a nutshell with its teeth, then it will cope with a reptile's skull all the more. The snake is just in shock. She clearly did not expect that she would face such a strong opponent in the face of this seemingly harmless squirrel. Fluffy can even pile on a cobra. At the same time, in battle, he also uses his front paws with which he can firmly grasp the target. The squirrel acts incredibly actively and moves from evasion to counterattack almost at lightning speed. It is difficult for the eye to keep track of the speed of movement of this fluffy fighter. A real feat for an animal that can fit into the palm of your hand. At the same time, the squirrel not only avoids the snake's attacks, but attacks itself. It's not running away. Clearly, she has plans for this reptile. Who knows, maybe when your parents took you out to the park to drive some squirrels, it wasn't a nice family tradition, but something of like a tribute. Oh, Mr. Squirrel, take these nuts, but don't touch us, please. You find that funny? And these snakes are not laughing. Underestimating a squirrel was the biggest mistake in the life of each of these venomous reptiles. However, after all, it is not invincible. This time, the squirrel underestimated the opponent. She thought she could easily confuse and escape from a feline predator. But they are not for nothing considered one of the most effective hunters. The beast rushes at the prey and catches it without any problems. It seems that these races were just fun. Do you feel sorry for a squirrel, or are you rooting for a predator? Answer in the comments. When mongooses were brought to America to fight rattlesnakes, it turned out that Asian predators, which fight on a par with cobras, are inferior to American snakes in speed. Well, mongooses just had to learn from mice. More precisely, a kangaroo rat. Believe me, this rodent is really unusual and will be able to surprise you. It's probably a relative of the splinters rat. She quickly dodges the snake's throw not even once, but several times. Just look at the height of her jump. If a person was capable of such feats, he could jump to the third floor of the house without a run and dodge a bullet. A mouse that can fit into the palm of your hand is able to instantly jump above the waist of an adult. Do you think that's all? No matter how, the mouse turned out to be so brave that she not only dodged another snake attack, but even hit her back. Even a karate champion is unlikely to repeat this feat. Get away from the blow and at the same time turn around in the air to hit the snake on the head with both feet. That is, a rodent can change the direction of movement right in the air and turn around for a really strong blow. The reptile is clearly in shock. In the future, it should be more careful to choose rivals. In slow motion, it can be seen that the blow stunned the snake, and she did not even have time to close her mouth during the fall. After all, after the victory, the mouse also humiliated the snake when she drew a handful of sand directly into her eyes.